Hi, this is Jody from Poppy Winkle, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute little junk journal. It's made out of corrugated cardboard, and it's about 5 inches by 6 inches. It is so fun and easy to make. Super quick. I did it in like no time, an hour maybe. And here it is. It has 4 signatures. Of course, you could do whatever you wanted. Plenty of room for putting lots of yummy goodies in there. And I used what I had, some music paper and whatnot. But anyway, let's get started. I started with a piece of cardboard that looks like this. So it is corrugated. It's less than a 1/16 of an inch wide. It's very thin. And of course, you'll use what you have. But my piece was about 12 inches by about 6 inches, just for reference. And then I put this under my spigot and I ran some hot water on it, and these pieces all came apart. I just kind of gently let them peel down as the water flowed onto it. So when all the pieces were dry, there was 2 pages of flat paper and then this corrugated part. I lay them all flat to dry, and this is what I have. It's actually now 13 inches long because once you take the paper away, this tends to spread out and get a little longer. So mine's 13 by 6. Again, use whatever you have, but this turned out really well because it's going to work with the pages by the 8.5 by 11-inch pages. But anyway, so I'm going to turn the edges under just to give them a little strength. I'm just going to fold them down a little bit like that and glue them, and then I'm going to sew them, and then I'll be back. Here it is. There's the turned under edge, and there's the sewn part. So this is going to be the inside. The outside looks like this. I only turned down this edge and this edge. This is just raw, but I sewed along it just to make it pretty. And what I'm going to want to do is wrap and leave some room. I'm not going to wrap it like this. I want to have some good overlap because I'm going to put pages in, and you want the pages to be able to expand so it can get fatter. So you want to have plenty of overlap there. This turned out to be a little more than 12 inches by 6 inches. I was just lucky that my cardboard turned out to be that size, because if I fold this in half, this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If I fold it in half this way, I get 5-inch high pieces. So I'm gonna rip it here because I want a ripped edge everywhere. So I'm gonna rip it here so I have my 5.5-inch pieces, and then if I fold it this way, I'm gonna have pages that are 4.25 inches, and that's gonna be just perfect for this book. Here are my delicious pages. I made 4 signatures. Each of these little packets is called a signature. So I made 4 signatures, and each of these signatures has 8 pages in it. Now I wanted a big variety of sizes. So see, this goes in and this is way out here. And a good way to do that is pack these signatures full. If you want uniformity, if you want everything to be the same, then you'd do better to just do 3 or 4 pages. But because my outside was so rough and uneven looking, I wanted my inside to actually match it. That's why I ripped the edges. I wanted everything to be a little rough and handmade looking. And what I used, this one has some rice paper, some coffee dyed paper. This is a piece of a, what's that called? A blueprint, which was bigger, and so I could fold it in, which that's fun. That makes a little fold out. This one has some vellum and some more coffee dyed paper. Now this, which is also a fold out, is one of the pieces of paper that came off of this. So when I was peeling it down, with the hot water, this is one of the pages I got. And they're so full of texture, they're wonderful to use. So that's what that is. And I think and I had some music paper. When you use music paper, mine was so old, my mom gave me this, and so when you use something that's a little fragile, it's good to put some washi tape or masking tape or something down the center, because if you sew down there, it would likely rip away without a little bit of reinforcement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how to put these into the cover and where it should go. And that looks about good. Here's one of my signatures. I have paper clipped it. So this centerpiece, all the center pieces are tight and aligned. And then I'm going to take an awl, and I'm just going to do 3, I think, 3 holes. So I'm going to approximate the middle and push down. Make a hole through all 8 pieces. I'm going to go here about 1 inch from the bottom. Do the same. And then here, about 1 inch from the top, and do the same. Then I'm going to decide where to put it. I'd like the cover, the turned under piece is under here. Oh, and all these pages are facing the way I want them. I wanted to make sure before you start sewing anything that all the pages are facing the right way. I'd like that to cover for the most part. So then I want to put it through about there. Want to kind of align the top and the bottom. The space here and here should be similar. And line it up with the ridges. You've got a nice up and down line to follow. So I'm going to push this through. I'm going to push, I think I got off kilter there. I'm going to push this through. Yeah, I got twisted. So I got to align it again. I'm going to push this through this cover too. And then, yeah, it's twisting every time. And then this, I should have paper clipped it to the cover. But that should work. And then I have thread. I always like a neutral. This is actually wax thread, but you wouldn't need to use that. But I'm going to, I like a neutral just because that's me. So you would pick, whatever you pick is going to show on the outside. So we're going to go out here, right through. And then in here, through the cover and through the pages. There we go, I found it. Then down here, out through the pages, and then the cover, and then in. Oh, and I don't think I said that the thread was 3 times, which is plenty, 3 times the length that I needed. So when I was measuring it, I did like this. I did 1, 2, 3, and that's plenty to go through. I'm going to cut that for the next one. That's plenty to go through and have nice space to tie. So I'm going to put the rest of them in. Here's my first signature sewn in, and here's my second one. Again, I clipped it together so the center was even with every page. And then this time I clipped this side to the actual cover, so nothing's going to move. And so I left some space. I'm not going right through this same hole. I left a little space in between so we have some room for the signature to grow. And I'm going to just do the exact same thing down here, up, and then down here, and then through. I realize I did not show how I tied this off. So when I come through the center, I make sure that one thread is on one side of this line here, this centerpiece, this thread, and the other one is on the other side, and then I just pull it tight and I just tie it a couple times. And then this I'm going to leave because maybe I want dangles to come down, who knows. I'm just going to leave it for now. And and the paper clip situation. So when I took the paper clip off, this was clipped on with a paper clip to the cover, and I shouldn't have used a paper clip because somehow this thing right here snagged and pulled this off and ripped it. So I'm just gonna you know, glue it back up and fix it, but you know, hey, avoid that problem. All my signatures are sewn in, and these are the clips I used instead of the paper clips so that nothing gets caught on that thread like happened before. And one thing to think about, as after you've sewn one in, it's a good idea to put all your pieces in, all your signatures in, and make sure you're heading in the right direction. So actually, this, I thought this was my first signature, and then I realized I wanted the signatures to be closer this way because this was overhanging too much. So I ended up, that's the first one I put in, but then I added these two to the front because I wanted to make it situated better, if that makes sense. So if I had not put these in, if I had put these in the back, then this part would have been shorter, is what I'm saying. So look as you go. It may not be obvious where you want your signatures to go in the first place. So anyway, now it's just like I like it, and it's all done except for my little pretty fabric. Oh, and here's the side. Here's the side. Here's the spine, and look what a terrible job I did with the middle parts. Like I judged those two perfectly, but then I put the middle down here for those two. So yeah, but guess what? It doesn't matter because I'm going to sew this pretty thing on. It's about 2 inches by what did I, 40, about 2 by 40. Of course, use what you have. And I'm going to sew it right about here, maybe. Just a little, I'm just going to tack it in, not even going to use the machine. Right here, so that way, and I'm going to do it here, right in the center, here. So I'm going to sew it there and here, and that way it's attached and you can tie it. And one more thing, a good way to tie so the pretty part shows, which you always want the pretty part to show, right? Is you make your loops with the pretty part out, and then you just tie it like that. So that way the pretty part shows, and then you can twist those around. Instead of trying to tie it like you tie your shoe. Well, maybe you tie your shoe that way. I don't know. So there. So anyway, that's our sweet little, super easy, super fast journal made out of corrugated cardboard. And let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. Bye.